Thank you for joining ET Future of Money Summit. Since this relates to money, let me just start with the question on financial inclusion. So, Prime Minister Modi laid great emphasis on improving financial inclusion in his vision for India at 100. Now, we also find that the government has taken a lot of measures to deliver financial inclusion, be it in terms of enabling doorstep banking or giving the people tools to access that banking. So can you give us a sense of the impact these initiatives have had in terms of driving financial inclusion in India and also contributing to India's economic growth?
Since 2014, when Honorable Prime Minister taken the oath as a Prime Minister, since then the steps have been taken to increase the financial inclusion. First time in India, the financial inclusion has become a Jan Andolan. And to start with, there are different reforms in the banks. And with the reforms in the bank, the services and of the banks are improved and different schemes are announced by Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Finance Minister of this country. This is the world largest financial inclusion, I can say. The first thing is the opening of the accounts of the poor people who are residing in the country, and that is the Prime Minister's Jan Dhan Yojana. Around 45 crore, more than that I will say, accounts have been opened in the Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana. Not only that, the Prime Minister Surya Yojana, which to begin with only 12 rupees per year one has to pay, and around 2 lakhs insurance was given, and this is around, the accounts are around 25 crore accounts. Recently, the 12 rupees are increased by the 20 rupees. Then the third most important thing is Prime Minister Jivan Jyoti Bima Yojana, where 8.8 crore accounts have been opened, and it is one of the important scheme for social scheme giving insurance to the people. At the same time, I want to report here, in financial inclusion, different facilities are given for the different categories, different sectors of the community in India, particularly different schemes. One is the Prime Minister Street Vendors Yojana. The poor people who are working daily, they should be helped. So, under the guidance of Honorable Prime Minister, our Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanji, has declared the Prime Minister Swanidhi Yojana, where rupees 10,000 are given without any collateral for the street vendors. And if he successfully does it, returns to the bank, then he will be getting 20,000 rupees. And if he is doing a regular, friendly with the bank, regular returning the installment, then the 50,000, this is recently few months back, is declared. So these are the important schemes which are important declared during these years. And not only that, during the COVID-19 period, ECLGS scheme, Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme, was declared, where the crores of MSME are protected and crores of jobs are also protected during COVID-19 pandemic. So this is a sort of Jan Andolan raised under the guidance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Right. So you've rightly pointed out all that has been done. And while that is the front end of financial inclusion, at the back end, there is a lot goes into delivering these things. And we have India Stack that has kind of revolutionized digital payments between fintech, startup, banks, registered wallets, and delivering digital IDs through its open access. Now, going forward, how can India Stack and India Stack 2.0 contribute towards promoting the financial inclusion when there is rapid digital transformation? And what is this financial next step towards the financial inclusion that we're talking about?
See, there were different laws earlier. and different steps, different stakes, working differently. But under the guidance of our Prime Minister, our Finance Minister has made a jam trinity where Jandhan account which was opened is communicated or is linked with the Aadhaar cards. And not only that, this Aadhaar card, Jandhan account are linked with the individual's mobile. So this jam trinity has made a very successful in India, where the direct beneficiaries can be direct beneficial amount can be transferred to their accounts. At the same time, one thing important I want to tell you, the eKYC, then UPI and e-sign and DigiLock. These are the certain things which are routinely used nowadays in the banking, and that is helping in the digital transactions as well as immediate transfer of the money also.
Right. So I'll just, since you're here, I'll just take opportunity to ask you a bit about the macro situation. We are seeing that, there is challenges that increase across the globe. In India, we are fighting inflation, high commodity prices, then there's a currency volatility, there are fears of global recession. So while the government and RBI have both intervened through various measures, what is your outlook for the Indian economy, and how does India navigate these challenges?
See, this nowadays, this inflation is a global phenomenon. Means inflation increasing everywhere. Even the US inflation is last, you can say 50 years, we can see this is a more in US also. Similar is the case with our country also. But to reduce the economic, this thing, all different steps are taken by the government of India. I can say to control currently inflation, the free something, instead of everything giving free, some things are given free, particularly under the guidance of the Honorable PM. Different Atmanirbhar Bharat schemes are declared, and around in these schemes, 21 lakh crore rupees are given to the needy patients. And particularly, I will mention here, MSME sector is given 4.5 lakh crore. And recently in this budget, the hospitality section, which was suffering more, the 50,000 crores are announced. So instead of giving free schemes to everybody, where the needy, the help is done. And particularly, I want to tell you, the Garib Kalyan Yojana means in this, but those people who are in need, who are poor, who were unable to work during COVID period, they were given the free food grains, and that is around 80 crore people benefited by these schemes. So these are the different schemes I want to mention here. Today, our inflation rate is 7%. This 7% rate, if you compare with the other country, is very less. Particularly, if we go to the US inflation rate is 9%. So comparatively, no doubt there is an inflation, but comparatively, this inflation is less in India as compared to other countries.
So the US inflation level surged to a 40-year high in June and was up 9% on a year-on basis. Now, experts say that the Fed is likely to raise rates by 100 basis points. What kind of impact do you expect the US inflation numbers and the resulting Fed action to have on the Indian economy, particularly in terms of capital outflows and the impact on the rupee?
To reduce the capital outflow, government has taken a number of steps. No doubt, the federal bank, that is US bank, has raised the rate of interest. And due to increase in the rate of interest, that is a capital outflow is a possibility. So our government, means our RBI also increase the rates, that is interest rate has increased. And I'm sure that will help this to control the capital outflow. The one that is appropriate dollars rate is also increased. Dollars rate is increased as compared to rupiah. Rupees are going down. But if you compare our rupee with the other like
Right.
euro, yen, or pound, our rupee is standing well. So
Right.
this is as compared to US dollar, with our rupees value is less, but not as compared to other. That means our economy is sustainable or right, all right.
Right. So, despite all the fears, Indian economy seems to be doing really that. The first quarter was really good, and which is we are supposed to be again fastest growing economy this year with the expected 7.2% growth. So, can you give us a sense of measures taken during COVID-19 and after that that has helped the economy bounce back so strongly, even as the pandemic has lingered on?
Even during pandemic and after pandemic, our economy is sustaining very well. I will say it is growing well, and different measures have been taken by Indian government, particularly to help the businessman in our country. And I can give examples. The various moratorium period in the banks, that is increased. That facility is given to the particularly industrialists and businessmen. Similarly, pension funds are increased contribution by the government to the pension fund is also important. Similarly, the Honorable PM has made various direct benefit transfers and to the to the women we have helped. Similarly, Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Yojana we are using. And not only that, in India during pandemic, it was a serious situation. Number of people were suffering, but as compared to other population of the other country, our seriousness was less, and everybody was helped. All hospitals were helped. Oxygen cylinders, oxygen plants, ventilators, everything was supplied, and more on that, the 200 crore 200 crore free vaccination was given during the pandemic and post-pandemic area. It is still the booster dose are now continue. So these are the important steps government is undertaking to prevent the pandemic, to control the pandemic situation, and to sustain or to grow the economy.
So just one last question on the economy is that what are the additional measures do you think you are needed to contain inflation and the steps that can be needed to drive economic growth, given the situation that we are in?
One important thing to increase the economy or to reduce the inflation, one important thing which I have told, the petrol and diesel, petrochemical industry. Honorable Prime Minister has reduced the petrol and diesel rates at the time of Diwali. Then last month only, Honorable Finance Minister has also reduced the diesel and petrol rates. And not only that, because of the Ukraine and Russia wars, these prices were increasing. But we are trying to control it, and we have Honorable Prime Minister has suggested to all the states also to reduce the prices. Some states have reduced, some have not reduced. That is different thing. But there is a close observation on this petrol and diesel rates. At the international level, India also leading the global fight against hunger. Under the Honorable Finance Minister, India has called the WTO to allow exporting of public stocks of wheat.
Right.
WTO rules do not allow trading of public stock wheat because it is purchased in cheap rates and can be unfair in the market. However, the India has showed willingness to work with the nation fighting hunger in these thought times. So these are different steps government of India is taking. And I'm sure the way our economy is growing is a very good signal for us. And our economy is the fifth largest economy. I will say America, China, Germany, Japan, and India is the fifth country all over the world having the largest economy and growing very well.
Right. So I'll come back to finance and digital economy. We have a very robust startup system that is also kind of helping deliver financial inclusion through fintech solutions. Now, how do you see the impact of these startups and fintech companies that are offering unique solutions in terms of redefining banking, financial services, insurance, access to these things? And second, what kind of policy balance is needed to allow these startups to continue to innovate at the same time ensuring that the financial system remains secure,
In India, there are thousands of startups, I can say, but there are around 100 unicorns. And these unicorns out of 100, India is the third country in the world having the largest unicorns. And these unicorns in India are because of the different facilities, different suggestions or different reforms given by the government of India. And no doubt, ultimately, the digital transactions and digital facilities which are available are very important. Particularly, I want to mention here, in the budget, Honorable Finance Minister has declared 75 digital banks to be started in different districts on the occasion of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So we are starting with the digital banks in our country. And naturally, this digital banking will be helpful, it will be transparent, and it will be time saving for the people and for the bank, and the better services can be given through the banks.
Right. So you mentioned digital banks. Can you just these 75 digital banks, and the government said that these will be adopting blockchain technologies. And can you just tell us more about these banks? How will they work, and what kind of technology and interface they will have to deliver banking?
See, as you have said, this is a digital banking in the only 75 districts, and this is a blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is important. Honorable Prime Minister always believes the new technology, new reforms, and new solutions. So this digital technology with the blockchain will help everybody, I will say, in the business.
Right. So as far as digital payments goes, India is one of the biggest there. We are doing millions of transactions daily. Now, the other plan in this aspect is the launch of digital rupee, or India's very own central currency that the Prime Minister has said, which is kind of, again, the target is again going towards a cashless, digital and cashless economy. So what is your view? How can India progress towards becoming a cashless and digital economy, and where will these steps help in terms of a digital currency?
See, in the budget itself, this year budget, the digital rupee and digital banking was announced. And for the digital banking, already we have selected the 75 places in our country. And we are about to start the digital banking. Regarding the digital rupee, it is mentioned in this budget. And the central bank, that is RBI, will definitely come out of the digital rupee, and that will be helping. This will be minimum timing, less expenses, transparent currency, and I will say this is to avoid the cryptocurrency, because nowadays the cryptocurrency is not legalized, although the taxation is 30% tax is allocated for the cryptocurrency. But our digital rupee will come, and naturally this will be a controlled currency, Indian digital rupee will definitely help in the business. It will be time saving. It will have good services. It will be no corruption at all. Everything will be favorable.
So the government has completed 8 years. Modi government has completed 8 years. What do you see the progress in these 8 years? The challenges. There is a bit of criticism on the economy management. So what would you see is the biggest achievement during these 8 years that the government has completed?
Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji has completed successfully 8 years. And during these 8 years, one thing I want to mention here, our economy is growing fast. Our economy, we are the 5th largest economic growing country in the world. And not only that, during pandemic, during the last 2 years, so we have managed the COVID-19 pandemic very well. And though we are the largest, we are having the largest vaccination camp, that's the pre-vaccination given. And not only that, we have also given vaccines and medicines, export of the medicines and vaccines on the humanity ground to other nations also. Even if you see that 1919, there was a swine flu, and there was a around the people who died because of the disease. Similar papers were died because of the hunger. But to avoid, everybody was given free food. So these are the different things we have managed during pandemic area. Even not only that, I am a doctor. I want to tell you, any ventilator, we are importing the ventilators. The price of the ventilator is around 10 to 12 lakhs. Honorable Prime Minister has expected from this our Indian scientists to start the ventilators, and ventilator manufacture started in our country. And now the price of the ventilator is only 2.2 lakh 60,000. We are having sufficient ventilators even in the district hospitals also. I am from the rural area. I made to the doctors. So ventilators are plenty available. Not only that, now we are exporting the ventilators. So in medical field, in all status, our export has increased more than what was our target. We have completed our around 400 billion export is also increased. So in all sectors, there is a progress. There is not a single corruption case. Things I can tell. I have mentioned something. These are the achievement of the Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji government.
So just the last question. So we have 2 years left to this tenure of the government. Now, what do you think is your priority? Especially you mentioned that you come from rural areas, so there is a talk that a bit of there is rural stress at times. So what do we expect from the government over the next 2 years before its terms comes to an end?
See, as I am coming from the rural area, so naturally this government, under the guidance of Prime Minister Modi ji, focusing on the agriculture sector also, because agriculture sector is a very important in our country, and particularly farmers who are working day and night in the farm to increase their income. Number of steps have been taken by this government. So to facilitate the income, to increase the income of the farmers, the agriculture, fertilizer, and different techniques, innovations are also doing in the agriculture sector. So this government is concentrated on the agriculture sector, industrial sector, businessmen, and the poor people who are working on the roads, street vendors, everybody. So this is a government we are taking the precaution of in all sectors.
Right. Thank you very much, sir, for taking out time. Thank you.
Thank you.